My name is Keith Barker, and on behalf of the entire CBT Nuggets family, I'd like to welcome you to this course on implementing Cisco Secure Access Solutions. Let's begin. It has been scientifically proven that it's pretty tough to get something out of a nugget if you don't watch it. So one of the first orders of business is to schedule time so that you and I can go through these nuggets together. And one of the questions I get all the time is, how do I get really good, like in the top 5 or 10% of my field in some technology or some area? And one of the big secrets of that is making sure that you practice and do hands-on with virtually everything that we're learning. And one of the best ways of doing that is to create a practice lab, not your production network, a practice lab where you can experiment and test and learn in a safe environment. So for this course, implementing Cisco Secure Access Solutions, or affectionately called SISAS, in putting a lab together, you're going to want to have a copy of some flavor of Windows Server with Active Directory, because we can use Active Directory as a centralized repository for user accounts and group membership in implementing our access control on our networks. You're going to want to have a copy of ISE, the Identity Services Engine. And they do have evaluation copies of ISE as well. So for example, if you got the ISO for ISE, and in this course I'm using version 1.2, because that is what the certification is based upon, and even as you and I talk, version 1.3 is out, but it's not an earth-changing significant difference. And because the certification is based on 1.2, that's what I used in this course. And to deploy ISE, the Identity Services Engine, in this course, I used VMware's Workstation. You can also deploy that on an ESXi host or as part of vSphere if you have those environments available as well. You'll also want access to Cisco's AnyConnect suite. And I call it a suite because it's more than just the AnyConnect VPN software. Also, AnyConnect has something called a Network Access Manager, which has an 802.1x supplicant that we can run on a computer. And it also includes several editors, including a profile editor that will come in handy in managing and working with our profiles for the Network Access Manager. In your lab environment, you'd also want a switch that supports 802.1x commands. And then you'll want one or more client PCs that you can practice and test with that are physically connected to that switch. So in the lab environment that you and I are going to be going through together in this course, these are the components that I'm using in my lab. One other item I'd like to add is that CCNA Wireless is also a beneficial set of nuggets because it focuses on secure access solutions for our wireless clients that may be coming in through an access point, which is managed by a wireless LAN controller, and the training regarding those specific aspects, the wireless LAN controller and the access point, those are covered in the CCNA Wireless course. And on the CBT Nuggets website, if you open up that course, you can see the individual nuggets in that course, and then pick and choose based on the titles and the descriptions of which nuggets may be most relevant or important for you to view. And the reason I bring up the CCNA Wireless is that I'm not going to replicate any information that's currently in CCNA Wireless, because it's already available on the CBT Nuggets website as a set of nuggets that cover those topics. I had a boatload of fun in creating and putting these nuggets together as part of this course. And I'm super excited about going through it nugget by nugget with you. And as we go through this together, I'd like you to imagine that you and I are sitting side by side going through the content together, because as I recorded this, I did it through visualizing that you are sitting there right next to me, and we're simply having a fantastic time together, you and I, going through the content together. So I'm intentionally keeping this introduction very, very short so that you and I can jump right into the content, and that starts in our very next nugget. Meanwhile, I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.